There is nothing that gets me more mad at 8 in the morning than watching the Oscar nominations. Let's talk about it. So, full disclosure, there are a couple of these that I have not watched, mainly some of the international films. I want to watch them. I have not had an opportunity to watch them. I will watch them before we put out the Oscar winners. But without further ado, let's talk about how we're going to do this. The plan is this. We're going to talk about the writers' nominations. We're going to talk about cinematography, a lot of the technical awards, then obviously Best Picture, and then the acting awards. So let's talk about it. Namely, one of the biggest snubs of the day, adapted screenplay. Let's talk about it. So starting off, we have American Fiction, written by Cord Jefferson. Barbie, written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. Oppenheimer, written by Christopher Nolan. Poor Things, written by Tony McInerney. And The Zone of Interest, written by Jonathan Glazer. This is where it's super interesting. Where is Killers of the Flower Moon? This movie kind of lives and dies by that script. It's a 3.5 hour long movie. If you are not gripped for 3.5 hours, you're bored, right? Like, I'm not saying Killers of the Flower Moon should have won. Obviously, I have not watched The Zone of Interest, so I don't have that massive of a complaint here, but it's at worst 6, right? Like, it's kind of shocking it's not there. I'm not going to tirade because, again, I haven't watched Zone of Interest, but a 3.5 hour film, you live and die by the script. And I'm just kind of shocked that Killers of the Flower Moon is not there. I feel like everything else works. Like Barbie pretty much lives and dies by that script. That script is really good. I really like that movie. Oppenheimer, again, 3-hour film. That movie's like this the entire time, and it holds your attention. Poor Things, one of the most innovative things I watched this year. Absolutely deserved to be there. American Fiction, still need to watch it, but from what I understand, it's predicated on having a really great script. If it doesn't have that, it's probably not as clever or as entertaining as people make it out to be. Zone of Interest is the question mark here. I need to watch it, and I will watch it. Killers of the Flower Moon has to be 6, right? That's just so strange that one is left off. I would think 3.5 hours, you would, and I'm not a big Killers of the Flower Moon stan, but I would think 3.5 hours, you would live and die by that script. So yeah, it's very shocking. Let's talk about Best Writing, Original Screenplay. Anatomy of a Fall, screenplay by Justin Trier and author Harari. The Holdovers, written by David Hemmingson. Maestro, written by Bradley Cooper and Josh Singer. May December, screenplay by Sammy Birch, story by Sammy Birch and Alex Mashinik. And then Past Lives, written by Celine Song. This one feels pretty good to me. Obviously, the question mark here is Barbie adapted or is it original? I feel like it's adapted. I'm not upset with it being an adapted. And if it's not an adapted, I mean, if it's not an original, I'm pretty happy with Anatomy of the Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives. That feels really good for me. I'm really happy for Past Lives being in this. That movie, also very slow burn of a movie. If the script isn't entertaining, if the script isn't good, if the script isn't captivating, I don't know how many people sit through that movie. That movie's really good. Happy to see it here. May December, one of my favorites of the year. That script had to be good. Couldn't be anything less than good. Happy to see it here. Maestro. That's the question mark here. I think that's number 5 in my opinion, and I haven't even watched Anatomy of a Fall. Holdover is really good. That movie has such warmth to it. It's got showcases such humanity. It's entertaining. It's clever. It's funny. It's sad. It's all of the above. It showcases all of the emotions. That script is the reason. Really love that movie a lot. Let's go to Best Actress in a Supporting Role. This could get interesting. So Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Daniel Brooks for The Color Purple, America Ferrera for Barbie, Jodie Foster for Nyad, and Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. I don't hate the America Ferrera nod here. I don't. In fact, one of my favorite parts of that film is that monologue from her. And I've heard, I don't know if this is true. I haven't researched this, so take this with the smallest of the small grains of salt. I have heard that monologue is from her and it's not necessarily in the script, or at least not to the extent that she performs it. I don't love this nomination. I don't have someone I would put in there. Maybe Penelope Cruz. That's who I probably went with. But America Ferrera feels like my number 8, my number 9, my number 10. She doesn't feel like the alternate here. I'm shocked that I'm happy for her. Like, I liked the movie a lot. Just shocked that she's in this nomination group. I would have went I would have went Penelope Cruz for sure. I would love to see where she falls on the voters list. America falls on the voters list and Penelope Cruz. I gotta imagine Penelope is number 6. Just shocked America made it this far. And then obviously you got Daniel Brooks for The Color Purple. I want to watch that one. Haven't had an opportunity to yet. And then Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer. Love that movie. She's so incredible in that movie. If you don't buy her character, some of the stuff with Cillian's Oppenheimer doesn't work. She carries so much of the weight of their relationship on her shoulders, and it really works. She's fantastic. So clap. Happy for Emily Blunt getting her first nomination. It was well deserved. And then Divine Joy Randolph. She is the heart and soul of the Holdovers. Love that movie. Love that movie. Love that movie. Love her in it. Excited for her. She is well deserved. And then Jodie Foster for Nyad. I haven't seen it. Haven't heard great things. I will watch it before I give my predictions on who is going to win. Okay, let's go to Best Actor in a Supporting Role. Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction. Haven't seen it. I want to. Just went out with... Just came out of limited release, so I will catch it soon. Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon. Dude is excellent. One of his best performances of his career. And it's a very long career. Dude is really good in this movie. Love it a lot. Robert Downey Jr. Oppenheimer. Best career performance, I think. I'll go on record and say that. Yeah, best career performance. Love this for Downey Jr. Ryan Gosling for Barbie is interesting to me. I said back in July on a podcast that I'm on, in retrospect, if you want to listen to it, here is the link in the description. Check it out. Brady and I talked about Barbie. Ryan Gosling is an interesting nomination for me. I said in July that I would nominate him. I do not stand by that in January of 24. He is my alternate. I would have nominated Charles Melton over Gosling here. I don't hate the Gosling nomination. In fact, I really liked his performance in that movie. I've seen him do it better in The Nice Guys, but Charles Melton deserves to be here. That's one of my biggest snubs of the day. And then Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. Love Poor Things a lot. Mark Ruffalo is incredible in it. I've never seen him do what he does in Poor Things. He brings such humanity to such a despicable person. And he is one of the most funny things I watched this year. So yeah, I like Mark Ruffalo here. The problem I have with this one is Ryan Gosling and the very obvious absence of Charles Melton. So let's talk about Best Cinematography. El Conde, Edward Lockman. Killers of the Flower Moon, Rodrigo. Maestro Matthew, Le Batik. Oppenheimer, Holt Van Holtima. And then Poor Things, Robbie Ryan. I haven't seen El Conde. I've seen the other 4. I don't have too many issues with this list. This feels a little bit like the Batman snub from last year for me. I can't remember. I believe it was Score that I was upset with that the Batman was not nominated. I feel like John Wick 4 should have been here. Yeah, I probably would have put John Wick 4 in there. He's probably the 6. I can't say for sure because I haven't watched El Conde, but to be honest, I probably would have put John Wick over Killers of the Flower Moon. So, eat me up in the comments. I'm sorry. Let's talk about Best Animated Feature. This is another one where I'm like, what the heck happened? So, The Boy and Heron, haven't seen it. I have never watched any Miyazaki films. I need to. I've heard really great things. They're not my problem. Elemental by Peter So and Denise Ream. Kind of my problem. I have seen that film. Do not like it. Nomona. I have not seen it, but I've heard really, really, really great things. Robot Dreams. I haven't seen it. Need to watch it. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse makes a lot of sense here. Happy for them. I'm dropping Elemental. Like, I've seen that film. And I've also seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Where the heck is that movie? That 100% deserves a nomination right there. Elemental wishes it was as good as TMNT Mutant Mayhem. And I'll end it there. I won't go on and on, but yes, definitely recommend watching that film if you have not. And last but not least, before we get into the actors and best picture and director, let's talk about score. American Fiction, Laura Karpman. Indiana Jones and the Dial of What the Heck Is This Nomination? John Williams. Killers of the Flower Moon, Robbie Robertson. Oppenheimer, Ludwig Göransson. Poor Things, Jerskin Fendrix. I haven't watched American Fiction. I can believe that score is probably good. I have watched Indiana Jones and the Dial of What the Heck Is This Nomination? Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I can say confidently Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things belong here. I love John Williams. In fact, my favorite score of all time is Jurassic Park. Jaws. I can go on and on. Star Wars. Like, dude is really talented, right? But what the heck is this nomination? Where is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Where? I don't like this group right here. This group is pretty telling to me. It feels like John Williams is just getting a nomination for his name. I wish I had a different opinion. All right, let's get to the things that y'all are curious about. So let's talk about Best Actor in a Leading Role. Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and then Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. I honestly have zero issues with this at all. Have no qualms with it at all. I have watched Maestro. I have watched The Holdovers. I have watched Oppenheimer. I have not watched Rustin. I have not watched American Fiction. American Fiction, as I said earlier, just went wide release, so I plan to check that out super soon. Rustin, I believe, is on Netflix. If it is, I will watch it very, very soon. Bradley Cooper, as much as I dislike Maestro, and I dislike Maestro quite a bit, and I think it's a well-made movie to an extent. Like, technically, I think it's well-made. I don't know that it's a good narratively made movie. Bradley Cooper was excellent in this movie. Paul Giamatti was excellent in The Holdovers. Dude is like adds so much levity in his character alone. Like, he's got this like deep resentment for the system, but brings such humanity to it that it doesn't feel like he is a cynic. And Paul Giamatti walks that fine line so well. And I love that character. I will watch that movie every single holiday season. Last but not least, we have Cillian Murphy with Oppenheimer. I've been saying since July, that movie is on his shoulders. The movie is written in first person. If his character does not work, this movie falls flat, especially with it a 3-hour runtime. Cillian Murphy is an excellent nomination. So let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Best Actress in a Leading Role. Annette Bening for Nyad, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Huller for Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, Emma Stone for Poor Things. I have not seen Nyad. I have not watched Anatomy of a Fall. I have watched Barbie. I have watched Killers of the Flower Moon. I have watched Maestro. I have watched Poor Things. And there's one that y'all are not talking about that I have also watched. Past Lives. So, I cannot comment on Annette Bening or Sandra Huller. What I can do, though, is trust people that I trust. A lot of people say Sandra Huller is fantastic in Anatomy of the Fall. I believe that. I'm sure Annette Bening, and I'm sure a lot of people would say Annette Bening is fantastic in Nyad, but I feel like if there was a number 5, Annette Bening's number 5, right? We can agree with that, right? Let me know in the comments if you agree with that. So a lot of you are probably like, well, Margot Robbie deserves to be there. And I'm not going to argue that she doesn't. I'm just going to say that she's not my number 6. She's not my alternate. Greta Lee was my number 5. I feel like not enough people have watched Past Lives, and maybe that's an A24 problem. But Greta Lee is so incredible in that movie. She had such a lovable character, such a quiet character. And that's not to discredit what Margot Robbie was doing in Barbie. But I said back in July, like, I don't believe that Margot Robbie was going to be nominated at all. Like, she's terrific, but she's like, in my opinion, like 7, 8, maybe 9 on the list. Like, she didn't make my short list. And I say that with a lot of love for the Barbie movie. I do. And I think she's really good at it. I'm not fighting for her to be my number 5. I am fighting for Greta Lee to be my number 5. And I'm just shocked that it's just Margot is the snub. Like there are other better performances out there. I'm not going to argue that she shouldn't be there. I would have been happy if she was there, but Greta Lee, watch Past Lives. Incredible film. I'll get off my soapbox and get on my other soapbox with best directing. Where the heck is Greta Gerwig? That's the one we should be arguing for. For best directing, we have nominated Justin Triet for Anatomy of a Fall, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. You've watched 10, 15 minutes of this video now. I have it said a couple times. I have not watched Anatomy of a Fall. Have not watched Zone of Interest either. I have watched Poor Things, Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon. All 3 of them deserve nominations. I can only assume, based on others' opinions, Justine Triet and Jonathan Glazer also deserve these nominations. But where is Greta Gerwig? I'm pretty shocked that she is not here, and this is my reasoning. That movie is so well technically crafted. I don't know that I could pinpoint a better director for a movie about a plastic figure than Greta Gerwig, and then trust that they would do as well as she, like make a movie as well as she made a movie. And for that reason alone, I'm like, where is Greta Gerwig? I'll leave it at that. I'll let you ponder it. She was in my 5. She wasn't winning, but she was in my 5. Last but not least, let's talk about Best Picture. We have American Fiction. We have Anatomy of a Fall. We have The Holdovers. We have Barbie. We have Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, Zone of Interest. I got to be honest. This feels right. Maybe I drop one of these and add Godzilla Minus One, but ultimately this feels right to me. I think this is pretty... I mean, I would drop Maestro for sure. I don't like that movie, but technically it's well made. I'm not shocked that it's in the 10 for Best Picture. Where in previous years, there feels like there is a drop off of like 6, 7 movies, and the top 3 are the ones you really can trust. All those 3 are the one that's in the running. This feels like there's a bottom 2, maybe 3. The other movies are very, very, very good. I'm really happy with the top 10 that we have here, aside from Maestro. I think this is going to make for a really good race up until March. I'm very happy. I do think there's a couple front runners, but it's not as far, like the race is not as far away as previous seasons. So with all that being said, if you have liked this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. It helps the channel grow, and you will be the first to know when I upload the video for the predictions of who will win the Oscar at the 2024 Oscars. So I will see you guys then. Adios.